is for students who missed the lesson on September 10th. This is a review lesson on central idea. We began talking about this the week of September 3rd. And what a central idea is it takes a topic, and a topic is 1 to 3 words that tells you what a reading passage is about. And a central idea is the point the author is trying to make about that topic, or what the author is trying to say about the topic. So for example, if I was an author and I wanted to write about hurricanes, hurricanes could have several different central ideas, okay? The hurricane is the topic. It's a one-word topic, okay? The central idea is the point the author is trying to make about the topic, or what the author is trying to say about the topic. So for example, using my hurricanes example, I could write about how meteorologists predict that there will be hurricanes. I could write about the devastations that hurricanes cause. I could write about how hurricanes are named. There are different central ideas that I could choose for my topic of hurricanes. And there's a sentence frame that we can use here when we're identifying the central idea. And it's framed like this. The central idea is that the topic is central idea. So the central idea is that hurricanes cause a lot of devastation. So yes, I changed my verb is, but you get the point. It is a phrase or a sentence. You should also be able to pull just about any sentence from the passage to prove the central idea, to prove that that is the central idea, that is what the author is trying to tell me, okay? So let's take a look at an example. I don't know why it won't just let me use my arrow keys. Okay. All right. Do you think that playing in the NFL means you'll be rich forever? Think again. According to recent studies of current and former NFL players, many players have very little money left over after retiring. Studies suggest that these players lose their millions due to poor spending habits. Instead of saving and investing, players purchase flashy cars and giant mansions. Players also spend incredible amounts of money on items like shoes, clothes, and jewelry. After retiring, many players find that these past spending habits leave them with nothing but debt. So what is the central idea of this passage? Is it A, NFL players have a lot of money? B, NFL players are rich forever? C, many NFL players have poor spending habits? Or D, many NFL players spend money on shoes, clothes, and flashy cars? This would be a good point to rewind and listen to the example. Okay, so now that you've had time to select the correct answer is that many NFL players, Many NFL players have poor spending habits. That is the correct answer. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, I know why. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the correct central idea. Okay, so I'm going to highlight it. Many NFL players have poor spending habits. That is what the central idea of this example is. Now I'm going to look at it again, and I want to see what detail do we think is best in proving that that is my central idea. So remember, my central idea is that NFL players have poor spending habits. So A, players purchase flashy cars and giant mansions. B, many players have very little money left over after retiring. C, players also spend incredible amounts of money on items like shoes, clothes, and jewelry. Or D, many players retire too early. This is a good spot to rewind and listen to the question again. What detail best supports the central idea? So our central idea was that was that many NFL players have poor spending habits. So the best option, all of these except for D we can get rid of entirely because that's not part of the reading passage. Miss Claypool is just trying to trick you, ha ha ha. Okay, these are all different details other than D that do prove our central idea. Okay, so that's how I know, number one, that it is the central idea. But the detail that best implies or best tells us that they have poor spending habits is that they have very little money left over after retiring. Okay, they have very little money left over after retiring. Retiring means they're done playing football. They're done. Their job is done. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. When he arrived home, Jordan found his cat Lucy exactly where she had been over 8 hours earlier, curled up in a ball on the edge of the sofa. Most days, Lucy spent her time in this very spot, sleeping and lounging. Anytime Jordan tried to get Lucy to play with a catnip mouse, Lucy usually yawned, stretched, and went right back to sleep. When Jordan first got Lucy, he thought she'd be an exciting addition to his house. He quickly learned, however, that she was probably the laziest animal on earth. So what is the central idea of the passage? Is it A, Lucy loves to play with Jordan? B, Jordan doesn't like his cat? C, Lucy curls up in a ball and sleeps? Or D, Lucy is a lazy cat? So let's look for the correct answer here. I'm going to read it again. When he arrived home, Jordan found his cat Lucy exactly where she'd been over 8 hours earlier, curled up in a ball on the edge of the sofa. Okay, so that's a choice here, C. Does that feel like a detail or does that seem like the big picture? That's one of the questions you can ask yourself. To me, that is a detail. That is not the big picture. Lucy loves to play with Jordan. Is that even true? It says here, anytime Jordan tries to get Lucy to play with a mouse, she usually yawns, stretches, and goes back to sleep. So A can't be A. B, Jordan doesn't like his cat. Jordan doesn't like his cat. So, does it say anywhere that he doesn't like her? It doesn't say that. He says he thought she'd be more exciting, but it doesn't say he doesn't like her. And then D, our choice is Lucy is a lazy cat. And that is the correct answer. Lucy is a lazy bum, lazy cat. All right? So now we're going to practice again. Same reading passage. Okay? Which detail best supports the central idea that Lucy is a lazy bum? Is it A, she was probably the laziest animal on earth? B, Lucy spent her time in this very spot, sleeping and lounging? C, when Jordan first got Lucy, he thought she'd be an exciting addition to the house? Or D, when he arrived home, Jordan found his cat Lucy exactly where she had been over 8 hours earlier? Now remember, we are looking for the detail that best supports the central idea. Best. And for this one, in my opinion, the best answer is that Jordan says she was probably the laziest animal on earth. An argument could be made that since she was there 8 hours earlier, sleeping, that could be supporting the idea that she's the laziest bum in the universe. But in my opinion, she was probably the laziest animal on earth is the best proof of my central idea that she is a lazy cat. It even has the word lazy in it. Okay? So let's look one last question. Jody had just finished dinner. She headed straight to the bathroom and brushed her teeth for 2 minutes. Then she gargled with mouthwash and flossed each tooth. Jody knew that taking good care of her teeth would prevent cavities. What is the central idea? Is it A, Jody brushed her teeth after dinner? B, Jody takes good care of her teeth? C, Jody flosses after every meal? Or D, Jody gargles with mouthwash every day? I'm going to read the passage one more time and through the answers, and then you will make your selection. Jody had just finished dinner. She headed straight to the bathroom and brushed her teeth for 2 minutes. Then she gargled with mouthwash and flossed each tooth. Jody knew that taking good care of her teeth would prevent cavities. What is the central idea? Is it A, Jody brushed her teeth after dinner? B, Jody takes good care of her teeth? C, Jody flosses after every meal? Or D, Jody gargles with mouthwash every day? Remember, the details should match. The details in the passage should match your central idea. And the answer for this one is B. Jody takes good care of her teeth. So if I look back here in the reading passage, the first sentence doesn't really have anything to do with it. She just finished dinner. But then the next one says she brushed her teeth for 2 minutes. Then it says she gargled her mouthwash and flossed each tooth. And then here in that last sentence, it says Jody knew taking good care of her teeth would prevent cavities. Remember, one of the tips from one of the Ed puzzles was that the central idea can often be found in the first or the last sentence of a reading passage. And this is right in that last sentence. Okay, that concludes the video. Please submit the Ed puzzle so that I know that you went over the lesson and you are learning. Thank you.